I'm Andrew.
And I'm Sharon.
And we met on Christian Connection. I was looking for a life partner, and I wanted to find someone who shared my faith and shared my beliefs. I heard about Christian Connection from a friend of mine, and I thought, well, it's probably a good way to find someone.
I had two friends who had met their spouses on Christian Connection, who both encouraged me to give it a go, and I thought it would be probably the only way that I was going to be able to find somebody at church. Can be quite complicated and difficult.
Well, I joined, it must have been at least 5 years ago. It was nice and easy to join. The app was pretty simple, like actually easy to navigate, and it wasn't complicated, which I actually quite enjoyed.
My adult daughter helped me with my profile. It was the only site that I was on, so I engaged with it quite a bit for the first couple of weeks. I think the most important thing for me was around being honest and being transparent. I thought there was no point having a false sense of who I was, and I wanted it to reflect me the best that it could. And my daughter took out about 2/3 of the words and simplified it, which was probably a good idea.
Like with most dating sites, it's really important in terms of the photos. And I use my photos to indicate the types of things I like to do in life, doing DIY work around the house, dressed up and a little bit more formal, and me doing some snowboarding. And so you get an understanding about who the person is in different situations.
I did notice all of his action shots, and that his primary photo was warm and relaxed. He was very honest about what he was looking for and what he didn't want. There was no ambiguity. So I got a very strong sense with Andrew about what he was looking for, who he was, and what he wasn't looking for.
Yeah, Sharon's profile is probably a bit more detailed than mine. But it was quite good. Like, you could actually understand what Sharon felt was important to her. I remember just going through the whole profile and sort of ticking the boxes in terms of, I thought, there was a lot of potential for a good connection between us.
So I waved at Andrew, and then I got absolutely no response. And for a good couple of weeks, and I couldn't quite understand why there was no response whatsoever. What I then discovered was that he was overseas and hadn't been checking in on his Christian Connection.
I was on holidays overseas and tend to be a bit more offline while I'm on holiday. So I came back, and I remember seeing the wave and reading the profile and sort of just trying to get an understanding about who Sharon was.
We spent 3 weeks talking to each other online. Which I think was really valuable, because we asked a lot of questions around my kids, his kids, our previous relationships, our families of origin, our interests, our passions. We talked about church, we talked about our relationship with God, we talked about
likes and dislikes,
what we did for work. And then I thought that I should probably then communicate about the fact that I thought we should try and meet up.
Because at the start, Sharon was pretty clear that she wanted to spend some time just communicating and sort of getting to know each other, and I respected that. That's a good way to do it. But I think that after a couple of weeks, we sort of felt like we now wanted to actually meet, have a conversation, and see how the rapport went.
So I had suggested either a catch-up in the afternoon or a dinner date, and he came back with the let's catch up in the evening, which I thought was fabulous.
Well, I organised a dinner date. It was at a wine bar. Then I was going to get there early, but Sharon beat me there, and so I came to the wine bar, and there was Sharon, and we had a great time, didn't we? We spent probably a good 3 hours talking to each other until the wine bar staff closed and said, "Could you please leave?" Pretty good sign of a first date that we really connected almost instantaneously, didn't
Yes,
we? And
we did.
we had a great conversation just on day one.
I was incredibly nervous. I did not want to make eye contact. He had said in the conversation that he had made decisions previously on other dates that he had very quickly, within about 10 minutes. So I was waiting for that 10-minute mark and to see whether we'd got over that and whether he was staying. But he ordered his second glass of wine and we had some food, and I thought, no, this was going really well.
Yeah, I think you know pretty early if you have a connection, right? So it's either, you find that deep, that sense of intimacy straight away, or you sort of don't, so you very quickly understand whether you got that sort of that magical connection, and like we had it from instantaneously, didn't we?
Yes.
Really loved each other's company, and we're quite attracted to each other straight away.
No, I think we found we talked through things incredibly quickly, incredibly well. So we wanted to be very honest and transparent about things. So anytime anything was a little bit, not quite sure, what do you think about this, etc., we would ask each other and have conversations.
I think the part that we had to navigate well was how do we introduce each other to our families. So I've got 3 teenage children, Sharon's got 2 older children. How do we navigate that sort of introduction?
So 3 weeks in after our initial date, we had spent some time together. We had gone down to the Mornington Peninsula. There's lovely wineries, there's beautiful cafes. It was a long weekend. And I think we spent that time really talking to each other about what we wanted in life, what we were looking for. We were both pretty honest about the fact we were looking for a very committed relationship. We spoke about those things very openly over that weekend, and I think we both at that point knew that this was
a relationship that we think could actually just
continue to build.
Yeah. And we spent a lot of time talking about values and life goals, and by that stage we found there's sort of this natural synergy between the two of us. It was only 3 weeks in, and Sharon's starting to finish off my sentences, and I could order Sharon's breakfast and sort of know what she wanted. This natural sort of way that we could just connect it straight away, and we felt very, very comfortable with each other without much effort at all. Probably maybe 6 or 8 weeks afterwards, we were starting to have discussions about, where is this relationship going? How would that work? And both of us really felt like, this was the right thing for us. We started talking about marriage and what that meant. And it wasn't too much longer before I proposed to Sharon in a hotel. And I popped the question, and yes.
And I said yes.
Yeah.
My youngest daughter had actually gone with Andrew to go ring shopping because she has a finger the same size as mine. And the people in the ring shop did think that he was marrying her. And she had to explain that no, he's getting married to my mum. And I'm here because my finger matches her ring size, which is something that she spoke about in our wedding speech, how embarrassing it was to actually have the staff think that she was marrying you. So the wedding was held in the same hotel that we got engaged in. It was a Rolls-Royce factory back in the early 1900s in Melbourne. So incredibly beautiful, very sort of 1920s glamour. It was lovely to be able to pick those people that had done journey, with both of us when we were singles. And we had 2 of Andrew's friends who were involved as celebrants. We had Andrew's son and brother as brother as one of his groomsmen. Yes. And I had my daughter as my matron of honour, and Andrew's daughter as well, who was a bridesmaid. So we were able to have these really important people that were a part of it. Because we were getting married as older people, it was very much what we picked, how we wanted it, we danced, which neither of us had done before.
It was beautiful, wasn't it? It was
yes.
really beautiful. It was a lovely day. We were absolutely thrilled, and we couldn't have asked for anything better. I had a lot of family who travelled from overseas to actually be there as well, which was just really wonderful and special as well. And so it was a beautiful day. Sharon looked absolutely stunning as a bride.
But we had been together for about 6 months by the time we got married, or 7 months, and it felt so natural. Everybody was really excited about being there. It didn't seem strange that we'd only known each other for a short period of time. I think a lot of people were very sure about the fact that this was a God thing, and that it was something that they were very pleased to be a part of. We wrote vows for each other, and to be able to stand there, having had, being two people who knew what it took to keep a marriage together, being able to stand there and do these vows that meant something, that for me was a real standout moment.
I think for me, the standout moment was actually completing our wedding dance. I'm not great at dancing, so we got a professional to teach us, and we spent a lot of time practicing. I think both of us were quite relieved when nobody tripped over, no one fell over,
no one died.
It all went fine. It was a lot of fun.
It was, wasn't it? We had a fabulous honeymoon, travelled from Hong Kong to Singapore, which was really, really lovely. What's been really fabulous since is being able to keep cementing what we were building before with each other's families, putting our families together, being able to do things like Mother's Day together, share new experiences together, but now as a married couple adds a completely different component to it. Being able to cement into a church as a married couple, I think has been we've really enjoyed.
And we're just enjoying building all the friendships and relationships together as well, because we've got this opportunity to take all our different circles of friends and actually really build that up.
Andrew is the most compassionate, caring listener. I'm heard, acknowledged, validated, and I just appreciate being able to have these conversations of depth, of consistency, value-driven, and that's intelligent and interesting.
Sharon's very caring and very kind, and it's just so much fun to do life with somebody else. Sharon's just a fun life partner to do things, whether it's going to the footy or just going shopping, or if there are things that we want to do as a broader family. It's just been absolutely fabulous to actually have Sharon in my life, and just someone who deeply is caring and compassionate and loving is just wonderful. It really is.
Cruising out of Hong Kong was a memorable moment. Watching Andrew's face as he was trying to understand Australian rules football. Watching him watch me engage with his kids and do things with them. We've enjoyed a lot of walking on the beach. Yeah, walking on the beach. And Sharon meeting my family in New Zealand has been really absolutely wonderful, and seeing her just, enveloped with a whole family unit. It's been lovely. Give it a go and trust your instincts. Go with your gut. Believe in your capacity to find the right person for yourself, and enjoy the process. You've got to put yourself out there and be vulnerable, and you've got to be patient as well, because it can take time, and for me it was a long time. But I think the other thing is actually just to be curious. So you've got to actually open it up a little bit, be vulnerable. And then, and see how it goes. Some of us are just blessed and found the right person on the first date. Yes. So Andrew was my first date. The rest of us mere mortals spent a long time trying to find the right person. Well, you were just waiting for me. Well, you were waiting for me. So, I had to be ready. There you go. God was kind. Let's be honest. He was good. He was kind.